Hi friends, Cole here. Thanks for joining me. I am at Freshwater Beach. Not to rub it in, but one of the two beaches within like a 5-minute walking distance from my house here, stuck in Australia, so not bad. I'll do a little panorama after class, so I hope that you can hear me. I hope the waves aren't too loud, but if they are, actually, yeah, let that come in. It's such a peaceful sound. I've been coming here in the mornings, trying to come here every morning to do a meditation and to kind of let this sound and this kind of let some nature in first thing in the morning to set my day, rather than grabbing for my phone and diving into the tech world. So I really this is kind of a new thing that I've been trying to really make sure that I do. It's easy to get out of that habit, but to touch in with my breath, my body, and the natural world before I get into the modern tech world. So not that it's bad, but the way that we use, the way that we engage in the energy, where we put our energy is very important. So maybe something to think about for you as well, where you put your energy, how much you engage in a tech world versus the natural world, inner world as well. It's always something to inquire about. But for our physical practice today, you just want to open the body. So we're going to have some soft edges, and most importantly here is stay with our breath. So we'll breathe first, and then we'll move around that. And yeah, let's just see what happens. We're just opening the body, getting to know the body, and saying good morning. Yeah. So let's start seated on our knees in cobbler's pose. So if this doesn't feel good for you, then you can sit cross-legged as well. And just take a moment to drop from the mind down into the body. And if you're just waking up, then maybe you haven't went up into the mind too much yet. So maybe it's a little easier to settle. And I've said this before, I really like kind of imagining that there's like a sand in the hourglass, like I'm really shifting all that sand and letting it settle down into the body, into the lower, down into the soma, which is another word for body. And beginning to notice the breath and just tracing it when it comes in and tracing it as it goes out. And normally quite quickly you'll notice that you're off or a thought has came in, and that's fine. Just notice it and come back to the breath. So we can really use the breath as an anchor point to stay in the present moment, because we can't breathe in the past or breathe in the future. So when we're close to our breath, we know that we are experiencing in the now. So a few more rounds like this. You can soften the face, maybe soften the jaw. And then dropping down a little bit, bring your heart center forward just slightly so that your collarbones spread. So you get a little bit broader from shoulder to shoulder. And then let the shoulder blades drop down the back just slightly as well. They drop down the back and they also come a little bit closer to one another. And then lengthen the back of the neck up as you drop the tailbone down. So maybe you feel a bit more expansion here. And then just for a moment, let's take the hands to the rib cage and breathe into the hands. So whenever we breathe, often we think about breathing into the belly, which is great, but a lot of us breathe into the heart, into the chest. We actually need to breathe into both. But another thing that we don't talk about very often is breathing into the side body. So really we should be having 360-degree breath, so the rib cage should expand in all directions. So check that out, try that out for a few rounds. See how that feels different. It's definitely a much deeper breath when I get my ribs involved and really let that expand. And once more. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands to heart center. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, an intention for your day, this is a great place to do so. And inhale, the arms wide and up, gaze follows. And exhale, hands to heart center. Actively press hand into hand. Feel some more engagement on the back. Again, inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Actively press hand into hand as they come down. And once more. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Hands come down to heart center. Beautiful. Take the hands down to the ground, and we're going to just come back for a moment all the way down onto the belly. So come all the way down onto the belly. Arms are going to go wide. Actually, let's bring the left hand in towards the shoulder, and we'll bring the right arm wide. So two different ways you can do this. You can bring it up into like a Y, like a half of a Y, or out to a T. So it'll be different for each of us. So see which one works. Pick the left leg up, and we're gonna push the ground away with the left hand. So it feels a little bit better for me in a T, and this left leg is gonna reach over, and you can drop the head down. Whew. So I feel this in the right shoulder. It feels so nice. And come back to the belly, and we'll switch sides. So the left arm comes out. Mine feels a little bit better in a T, but I know some people like it in a Y. The right hand comes down to the ground, and you push the ground away as the right leg reaches back. So you can really get big here. Like think about a starfish reaching in all directions. So I used to do this, I do it sometimes with the leg bent, but I'm really liking it with everything expanded out, really reaching out here. I can feel this getting some knots in my left shoulder blade as well. Let's do this again just with breath. So exhale, come to the belly, and then inhale, switch sides and take a big opening. Just one round of breath here. Exhale to the belly and inhale, open up. Get as wide as you can here. Reaching the fingers and the toes. And exhale to the belly, push back, child's pose. Now bring the breath awareness to the back of the heart. So in between the shoulder blades, imagine that place lifting on your inhales and falling on the exhales. Tuck the chin to the chest. That heart space lifts you up. So an inhale, like you're being pulled up from that heart space. And exhale, arch the back. Bring the awareness to the tailbone as you push the ground away and the tailbone pulls back. We'll do this a couple more times. It's like a moving cat-cow. Inhale, round the spine. Slowly come up. And exhale, arch. Let yourself be pulled back by the tailbone. Push the ground away slowly. Twice more. Inhale, puff up the back of the heart like you're inflating yourself up. Exhale, bend the elbows, push the ground away. Tailbone pulls you back. And once more. Inhale, come up. And tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just staying here for a moment. And slowly walk towards the top of the mat, or if you don't have a mat, walk towards your hands. Bend in one leg and then the other. And let's spread our feet here. Let's bend the knees quite a bit so you get some buoyancy, and wiggle the hips from side to side. So I know that I'm kind of playing in the sand here, but you can imagine that you are as well, and kind of making a figure 8 across the floor. Kind of feeling how this is getting in outsides of the hips and the hamstrings. We'll slowly come to center. Plant the hands, and we'll take a big step back with the right foot, and the hands will, with the left foot. The hands will stay on the inside of the right foot. And we'll take a couple more cat-cows, but from lizard pose. So inhale, heart comes forward, gazes up. And exhale, round the back, push the ground away. So you can I can begin to feel the stretch in the quad. When I curl the tailbone down as well. Come onto the fingertips. Can you feel that? A little bit more into the front of the quad. Inhale. Arch, gaze up, open the heart. And exhale. Everything touching the ground pushes into the ground as you curl. Again, inhale up. And exhale, curl. Left hand plants on the ground, right hand comes to the knee, and we'll take a twist. So we're gazing over the right shoulder, pull back on the right hip crease, and then lean the heart back. Slow, steady breath. Beautiful, release. We're gonna twist towards the left and walk the hands all the way back to the back of the mat into Skandasana. So you can stay high or you could come low here. So maybe this looks more like this. And getting into this actually has more strength involved. And then this is coming deeper into a stretch if you take it low. So whichever one you'd like to be at. Beautiful. And wide leg forward fold. So now we're just gonna come up, lift the hips up, turn the toes in slightly, the heels out slightly, wiggle the booty, and then pour forward. So hands can clasp behind the neck. They can come forward, so you kind of have like a wide leg downward dog with the hands reaching out. This feels really nice. So find a place for the hands. Again, imagine breathing at 360 degrees. I still have a little bit of a wiggle going on because I'm just kind of beginning to inhabit my body this morning. And then begin to bend the knees. Take the hands to the hips. We're gonna roll up to standing. Beautiful. Toes, right toes point towards the front of the mat, warrior two. Actively pressing down through both feet. Pull back on the outer right hip crease. This is always a really good adjustment for me, especially in the morning whenever my hips aren't as open. Think about pulling on the outer right hip crease. That can kind of get me into the alignment pretty quick. And inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, plant the hands. Big step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, or they can stay on the floor. So this is not just a transition pose. We'll stay here for a moment, but really reaching the crown of the head forward and the tailbone back. Be sure that we're not looking forward because you're crunching the back of the neck up, but look down and lengthen the back of the neck and the crown of the head forward. The hands that are either touching the ground or the shins, they're pushing in or pulling back so that you can extend the spine. So we use this often as it seems like it's kind of an afterthought pose, but there's so much here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Let's separate our feet again. The hands will go on the inside as we take a big step back with the right foot. Back knee drops. We'll do the same thing on this side. Inhale, open the heart, broaden the collarbone, open the throat. Everything is, think expansion. And then exhale, we're coming internal, push the ground away, curl everything in. So see what it feels like to drop the tailbone, chin to chest, push the ground away, even through the foot, through the hands, through the knee, puffing up the back of the heart. Now we'll move with breath. Inhale, open. And exhale, curl. Inhale. Exhale. In. And we'll slowly walk back to Skandasana, back of the mat. So maybe you go to the same place, maybe you go to a different one. We're not even to begin with. So we have this kind of obsession with evenness sometimes, but each side is so different to begin with that it's a good place to practice, like, what do I need here? Wide leg forward fold. So push the ground away, and we'll bring the hips up. And actually, we'll do something a little bit different. So turn the heels in and the toes out. You stay where you are, I'm gonna turn around. So we'll take goddess pose. So the heels in, the toes out. So there's lots of little things here that we can think about. Press down through the pinky toe edge side of the foot. And as you do that, bring your awareness to the arches of the feet and lift that up. See how that changes in the hips? Can you feel that? Pressing down through the outer edge, lifting up through the arch. It refers all the way up, and then sink the hips down. Let's take the hands to the knees. Slowly, right shoulder drops. And let's bend the elbows here, so you can go a little bit lower. And then inhale, center, and exhale. Inhale, center. Again, in and out. Push down into the feet as you come back to center. Lift all the way up. And we'll turn the left toes this time, so I'll switch back. Left toes towards the top of the mat. Warrior two. So to quickly get into warrior two, again, like I said on this side, press evenly through both feet and then pull back on the outer front hip crease. So this will be the left hip crease in this case. Notice how that can shift everything in the front, on the front leg here. Arms come out. So same thing here, think about opening the heart, dropping the shoulder blades down and a little bit together. Sink a little bit lower and inhale, reverse warrior. So it's a big side body stretch, so coming towards the side. And exhale, plant the hands. Take a big step up. Right foot meets the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down, bend the knees. We're gonna press down into the ground and slowly roll up. Have a little bit of shake in the body, and we'll take about 5 count to roll up. So slowly stacking vertebrae on vertebrae until we come into mountain pose. So taking a moment here, rooting down through the feet, and that downward energy allows us to reach up. So we're rooting down, you can think about it on an exhale, and then inhale, lifting up through the crown of the head. The same thing about the feet, we can bring attention to that. Exhale, root down through the outer edges of the feet and the balls of the feet, and then inhale, lift up through the arches. Feel that energy come all the way up. Let's try that again. Exhale, root down through the balls of the feet and the outsides and the heel. And let your inhale lift the arches up the inner thighs, belly, all the way through the crown of the head. Once more like this. Exhale, root down. And then inhale, lift up. Beautiful. Take the hands to heart center. On an exhale, we're going to interlace the fingers and push the hands forward as we sit back into a chair pose. Yeah? Inhale, open up the heart. Stay in chair pose, but we open up the heart. Yeah, stay here, sink a little bit lower. And then exhale, stay in chair as the hands come behind the back. They interlace, roll the shoulders back, heart centers forward. We're gonna begin to lift the left leg up into a kind of a crane pose here. And then exhale, step back to the back of the mat. So really slowly. Be sure that the feet aren't in one line, but they're a little bit separate. Beautiful. So we're in a bound crescent here. Drop the back heel down. So we're back in warrior 2 in the legs. We're gonna take humble warrior. So begin to fold forward. We're gonna fold on the inside of our right leg. Press our right shoulder into the right leg. So you can stay right here. This is delicious for some people. Or you can reach the arms out, so we're in a warrior dog. So either way you'd like to go, but pulling back on the right hip crease and actively pressing down through both feet. So both of those things. And again, bring attention to the arches, to the pressing down through the part of the foot that makes a footprint and a lifting up through the rest. Oh, this feels delicious. Wherever you are, release the hands and we'll meet in warrior dog. So the hands come out. And then plant the right hand. Actually, we'll take both hands to the top of the mat. We're gonna turn the hips towards the top of the mat and we're gonna take the left leg up and over towards the right side into a curtsy pose. So the hands will come back. Think about that halfway lift. The crown of the head reaching forward, the heels or the sit bones, tailbone reaching back. And then inhale, lift up, grab the left wrist, and we reach over. Beautiful. Exhale, curtsy, come back where you were. And this time, inhale, left foot meets the right. We'll come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands. Heart center. Let's do this on the other side. Exhale, push the hands forward. Come down into chair pose. So even here, thinking about the feet, so pressing down through the footprint part, lifting up through the arches. Inhale, lift the hands up, open the heart. Exhale, take the hands behind the back, maybe interlace the opposite way. Beautiful, one more inhale. Full exhale, sink a little bit deeper. And then inhale, the right knee comes into kind of a crane pose, and we're gonna step back into a crescent lunge. So slow step back. Be sure that you're on train tracks a little bit. Beautiful. Bring the back heel down, warrior 2. So coming into humble warrior. So we're gonna pour the heart forward, leading with the heart, slowly come down, and then the arms come over. Pressing the left shoulder into the left knee, and pulling back on the left outer hip crease. So again, you can stay here with the arms coming over, sinking deeper into the front leg, or you can do all of the same things with the arms coming out. And we breathe. Notice the footprints and notice the arches. Also notice the left hip crease. Pull it back a little bit more. You can get in so many places in this pose. Beautiful. Begin to lift the gaze. We're going to turn the hips square as we gaze forward. Take a big step forward. Right leg comes up and over into curtsy pose. So take it off the side of the mat. Bend the knees, wave the arms back. So lengthen the spine, kind of integrate the ribs, the core a little bit more. And then next inhale, lift up and take the right wrist as you reach over. Inhale, open the heart. And exhale, curtsy pose. Inhale, lift all the way up. Right foot meets the left. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. And let's go ahead and shake it. Shake it out. And come into a Malasana squat. So we've done lots of hip stuff. Actually feels delicious. Spend a little attention on the hips in the morning. I think this is setting up a good day. And just kind of wiggle around here, feeling in. And we'll come back into cobbler's pose or cross-legged, wherever you began. And back into the breath. Let's take about 3 deep rounds of breath together. So bring your awareness either to the ribs, so maybe the way that we began. You can bring it a visual awareness to the back of the heart, or maybe a hand on the heart, hand on the belly. Let's can really help to direct our awareness and breathe in and expand. Exhale, breathe out and release. Twice more, in and out. Inhale and exhale. Slowly release the hands down if you have them up. And then hands to heart center. Thank yourself for showing up today, for doing the work, to setting the stage for your day, setting up for success, setting up to be in the body, aware of the breath, embodied. That's what we're working towards, to be more present in our lives, for ourselves, for others, and to really enjoy this human experience. So thank you all for letting me be part of your practice. And thumbs to the third eye. Let's bow forward and say together, namaste. Beautiful. Thank you all so much for joining me. And I will see you next time on your mat. Oh, let me show you. Let me show you where I'm at real quick. So, this is Freshwater Beach. These cliffs, I can walk all the way around to like the other beach. Yeah, it sounds horrible, doesn't it? And over there too, there's a pool on Australia has pools like on these the edges, on the cliff edges. It's really beautiful. And then again, you can walk around that to another beach, and it just goes on and on. Good stuff. So, if you're ever in the area, Freshwater Beach. Ciao.